All right, happy Jackson Hole Day, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to the official Trade Talk channel, where I show you how I analyze price for the most consistent and higher probable entries to help you all become better traders. Today we're going to be watching. We got core PCE this morning at 8:30. That's in about 27 minutes, and then the Jackson Hole speech, which is going to be the Fed chair, Mr. Powell himself, at 10 a.m. Now we are expecting a little bit of volatility when this occurs. We have already gotten some of that volatility on crypto assets. Doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. But yeah, thank you guys for being here. Let's get this thing going here. So I'm going to put the Ethereum and Bitcoin charts on the hourly time frame because I have the SPX and I have the DXY both on the hourly time frames. So, all right, Bitcoin's already there. So you can see last hour we had a pretty good size move on Bitcoin, taking out yesterday's low as well as taking out daily support. Ethereum is the same thing, but it took out yesterday's low and its daily support much earlier than Bitcoin did. As you can see, SPX right here has came into an area of potential support, put in an hourly engulfing candle, same as the dollar. So we have a whole lot of mixed signals going on here. Earlier, when Bitcoin started its descent, the DXY was pushing lower, right? So like we were kind of watching to see if hourly support would hold, and obviously it did not. Not only did it not hold, it also in this 1 hour in its fell swoop went down and took out yesterday's low at the same time. So currently we're trading on the lows for Ethereum and Bitcoin. Ethereum is down damn near it is down 4% on the day. Bitcoin's down almost 2% on the day. SPX down 0.14% on the day. DXY down 0.06% on the day. So a little bit of mixed signals going on, and we're going to talk about it, right? So what are we watching? First and foremost, yesterday the SPX came down to its options pricing expected low. This is this red line right here. That is the bottom of the range that on Friday was already priced in. So essentially that red line was where the options market was expecting price to go, as far as, to the downside, also to the upside as well. Because when the options price in a move, they price in a move from zero to up and from zero to down, essentially. Because nobody knows which direction the market is going to go. So anybody that was selling call options down here, expecting SPX to stop at the expected move, they were obviously losing money. But the expectations will close or the expiries will close today on some of them, right? Not all of them. It's not like a big quad witching event or anything like that. But at the same time, it's important to understand that today's Friday, and the SPX has already went further than its expected move. And that's before we have any speeches or any news, essentially. This week has been a very dull week as far as news is concerned, but a lot of things have had a pretty decent sized move. I was going to go live yesterday for the public, but I didn't have any trades. I went through everything, looked through every single chart, and I didn't see a trade. And we ended up taking a trade right after I made the decision of not going live. So that's basically how that works. But anyways, we took a short on Bitcoin up there. We were watching this as resistance. We did take a short. It did break above resistance, but I was watching it basically to see that as potentially being a trap. And this is the reason right here. So you can see at 2 o'clock, this is your London session. You did have a move to the upside, breaking above hourly resistance. And then comes the New York session. You are not able to close an hourly candle above $21,716, which was the original resistance. Remember, whenever you put in a trap and then mark that candle as a trap by taking out its low, then you revert back to the last resistance. And right there is where we set our short entry. Stop above 21,778. And down in here is where we took profits, moved the stops to break even. And that trade is still rocking and rolling. Now I am watching this down here to potentially either A, leave the trade on, or B, take a long position if this thing can find support. The dollar is trading into resistance right now. So obviously I do not want to see an hourly close above 108.40. But when 8:30 comes out, you can potentially see a big spike in both directions, either up or down. So taking a position right now before the news at the low of day isn't really a good idea. So I'll leave that up to you. Basically, the way we look to take reversal trades is if there looks to be a rejection occurring. So what I mean by that is if you take, let's go ahead and put this on the big screen. If you take this chart, for instance, this is your Ethereum daily chart. This was yesterday's low. So we did have a little bit of a bullish move yesterday on Ethereum, whereas on Bitcoin, we did not, right? Ethereum had this little push up well above its previous day's highs. So it did look like you were going to see bullish continuation. So taking the short on Bitcoin wasn't really looking to shape out wasn't looking like it was going to shape out very good, but it ended up working out perfectly. And then here's today's price action. So if I'm looking to trade a reversal, I'm looking at this day as a breakout above resistance. Resistance was the previous bullish day right there. That would have been your resistance. So breaking out above that would have me looking for long positions. This is all in the backdrop of understanding that we did just have a massive bearish engulfing on the weekly. So looking for bullish trades from here, it is only expected to be a bounce. So we're not looking for bullish continuation. We're not looking for all-time highs. We're just looking for a bullish trade entry to trade up to where we think you may find resistance again, and that would be weekly supply. But as you can see, this thing has rejected at the midpoint of this breakdown candle. And I want you to look at how beautiful and perfect that is. So that is where a person should have deployed a short position on Ethereum, expecting this to be as far as it's going to go. If you're going to see downside continuation from here, as you can see, we have already broken down well beneath the low. So if I was going to be looking for bullish trades on Ethereum, I would have wanted to see this candle just throw a wick below the low and then instantly, within 1 hour of time at least, get back above that price. You can see that this is almost the midpoint of today's candle. So at 8:30, 20 minutes when we get PCE data, I would not doubt it a bit if your move from here to here puts this as the midpoint. So essentially you could get a spike lower from here. Let me push control so I can make my own move to about 1610. You're almost there, but not quite there. So I could see a spike all the way down to that, which would be here. So looking for a long right here before the low of day, the current low of day. I just, it's one of those things. It's a 50-50 shot, right? 50-50 shot. If you're going to take a long there, you definitely want to get your stop down below at least 1610, because that's how far the impulse would have to be in order to make today's candle complete downside, with putting the 50% retracement at support or at yesterday's low. Excuse me. All right. So that's Ethereum. Looks like it wants to go lower. Bitcoin does the same to me. All right. It just doesn't look like a long anymore. Bitcoin isn't as bad, or it isn't moving as much as Ethereum is, but you can still see that here on the daily. Let's stretch it back out. Here on the daily, you're doing the exact same thing, right? So that's where our short position was. Here is the daily open, which would be support. That is your daily support, because that's the opening price. That's the closing price of yesterday's bearish candle. So that's where support is. If you're looking for long entries, your long entry would be at that, a test of that. So if we go back into the intraday chart, you're going to see right here yesterday, boom, there was a test of daily support. This is where you would have implored the long if you were looking for bullish continuation, and you did get bullish continuation right up into there, and then that's where you failed, and that's where we took the short, right? Boom, boom, boom. So it does look to me like price is breaking down. If we go over here and put on our volume profile, you're going to see that even though we did have some bullish trades or bullish moves, the volume profile point of control was in the middle of the daily ranges almost every day this week. The only time it wasn't was yesterday when we took the short. Your volume profile point of control was at and around the high of day. When that happens, we don't want to look for bullish continuation from there, especially if the low is way down here. This is your low of yesterday. So if your volume profile is putting in the point of control at the top of the range, you have to be cautious at best to be wanting to take long entries there. And that's basically the main reason why we look to take the short. The previous day, we did liquidate the range high. This would have been your range high at that point in time. So upon that liquidation, you did get a bearish reaction. Then you did get a bounce at daily support, and that was sold into, and here we are today. Boom, you've broken down below daily support. So looking for bullish trades at this point is not recommended. All right. I was watching three prices this morning. First, I was watching hourly support, and I said if I get an hourly close below that, then I will watch daily support, and then I will watch the low of day. I am definitely not looking to take 3 bullish entries, though, to see if one of those areas becomes a decent trade. And here we are. Those are the 3 prices I was looking for bullish entries. And look at this candle. That is not a bullish trade. It is not. You're looking for bearish continuation from here on out. Now, 8:30 and 15 minutes, is it possible that we spike all the way back up? Yeah, probably not up that far, but yeah, it is possible that you get a spike up into this. But what you're going to find yourself is you're going to be spiking right up into the point of control where the original short for today would have been. I'm not looking to take a short when the daily range, because remember, this candle, if you take that away, because that's what we were looking at when we were making our decisions, your point of control is at the low of day or around the low of day. So this situation, this setup, even though currently you're trading as an inside day, today's high never even reached yesterday's point of control. So it does look like bearish continuation, but at the same time, there's no way in hell I'm going to take a short at the bottom of the daily range, well, the current daily range, with the point of control stacking up like that. And you can see the yellow is sells, the blue is buys. You can clearly see that the sells were much bigger for all of these volume nodes. For almost your entire volume area here, this is what's considered the area that's in play. The shaded stuff is not. So your highlighted portion of where the volume nodes are, that is called the value area. Inside of the value area, the sellers have been winning the day, right? So yeah, we got the breakdown. This is where I would have been watching for that potential long, but as soon as this occurred, right there, a close below, that takes that long off the table. Next price that you're going to be watching, you're not watching daily support at this point because you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 attempts already. That's 4 hours of attempts to trade up from daily support, and your hourly closes are getting lower. Your bullish closes. See this? Higher close, lower close, so on and so forth. So it definitely looks like price is coming into support, but it's not looking like it's a trade that you want to take. And then boom. So that big move right there is a liquidation. People got long at daily support. People got long at yesterday's low. People got stopped out. There's no way in hell anybody had a stop loss that far away if you were looking to get long here or get long there, especially if you're using 100x leverage. Because let's be honest, if you were getting long here with 100x leverage, your stop would only be right there. And that would probably be about 15% of your account at a loss. That's why I don't suggest you use leverage until you get good at trading. Trade spot or trade fake money until you get an equity curve that trends to the upside. Then you can start using a little bit of leverage. Not a lot, a little bit. A little bit of leverage can help. A little bit of leverage can also hurt. But here we currently are. I mean, it's bearish, guys. Today's bearish. I was expecting bullish continuation. I would have wanted to see it happen yesterday and then go on up here and take out this liquidation candle. This is your liquidation wick. So as long as this swing high stays intact and price starts to trade away from it, that's telling you right then and there that the sellers are in control of the asset. But we already know the sellers are in control of this asset because of that bearish engulfing weekly candle. Here is your daily on your RSI. You almost hit oversold regions with that push lower, and you cannot even get up to the 50. Now, if you were to get up to the 50, that would put you up to about where we were looking to enter new short positions this week. But if you remember in Saturday's upload, I also said This could take a couple weeks before it even gets up there, if it does, right? There's nothing that says that it has to go back up there and retest to go lower. There's a few volatility There's a few volatility metrics suggesting that we're going to see more downside on Bitcoin. All right. This is a nasty candle, and these kind of candles typically work out decently as long as it is in the direction of the trend, and obviously it is in the direction of the trend. Now, I am a buyer anywhere down here. All right. I just am. It's just because I assumed already that we have seen the capitulation move to the downside, and I assumed if inflation were to top out and start trending lower, this would be your low for a long time. And it still might be, right? Another big expansion like we seen last week would put you right down here, roughly around weekly support. We do have weekly support right here, but it does seem to me like for right now, the price action is aiming for one target and one target only. So if we get down there, I'll probably be a buyer, but for right now, this is the target. That is last week's low. This is Friday. Here's your weekly range. All week. This is all you've been able to do on Bitcoin. Nothing, right? Absolutely nothing. Volatility was extremely low this week, which is normal coming in from a big expansion move to the downside. That liquidates a lot of people, and it takes time for price action to, basically chew up those orders and make a decision on which way the chart is going to go. So right now it looks like they're aiming for last week's low. If you do get below last week's low and find yourself rejecting down there, then maybe down there you could potentially look for bullish entries. But like I said, if you are going to do that, if we do get that expansion this morning at 8:30, we still got a speech at 10 o'clock, right? Today is going to be a very, 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 very difficult day of trading. Let's go over here and let me see. How can I do this? Let's just go over here, load this up really, really quickly. So these are trades that we've taken already this week. Let's close this out. Let's go look at them. One we took Tuesday was your Euro USD long. My actual account did get stopped out on that trade. My real account, this is a paper account, but I typically take these trades the same way. So like, before the live stream starts, I will take this trade the same way that I take it on this, because I have multiple monitors, so I can have my broker logged up on one screen and this on the other. So basically taking the trade at the same exact time. This was over here the other day. My stop was below there, whereas my real account wasn't. So I did eat a stop on this on my real account, whereas the paper trade worked out better because I had to stop down lower. But I did take an entry here on the real account. So that trade's in great shape. And then we took this trade live Tuesday morning. If you remember, Aussie Swiss, we were looking to get long there. And as you can see, that trade has worked out phenomenally. There's nothing I need to do for that. And I took the same trade on the original account as well, or the real money account as well. Same trade, same entry, same stop. Everything's the same. So that's where we're standing right now. 2 profitable trades. I did take a short on pound yesterday, pound dollar yesterday. We took the short in the Discord. I was going to go live, but I just didn't see anything happening. But we did end up getting short on this as well. Yesterday took profits here. And then on my real account, I took the same trade, but for some reason, something didn't work out. So I got stopped out of the trade when this came back up. And then I got entered into a long position at the high of day on my real money account, which sucked. So yeah, I've closed that trade down. That was a rookie mistake. Obviously, I put an order out for some reason with the real money account and ended up not working out so good. But the trade yesterday was successful, and it was with a very small position, which led me to believe that maybe I don't even know what was going on. I can't even figure out what I was thinking when I did that or what happened. But all's good in the hood. We're doing real good this week. We got 3 profitable, successful trades through Forex. And then on Bitcoin, we've taken a couple successful trades as well. So today we're just kind of sitting here. We're just kind of sitting here to see what happens when the speech happens in 7 minutes. So I guess while we're doing that, I'll go ahead and load up the rest of these charts and we'll see what happens. SPX is coming into an area of potential resistance. just being the downtrend. And I took that from a 4-hour, just from this wick high, which is the current high on August 16th at 1 o'clock, and then your high here at August 18th. Right there. Those two areas is where I got the trend line set. So I do expect you'll see a little bit of sell side kick up right in here, because retail people do like to trade trend lines. They will take positions based on trend lines. This is your low range expected move that the options market priced in. Is it possible that we get much lower than that? It is, because I haven't gotten it loaded up on this computer yet, but I am going to do that one of these days so I can show you guys. I do have it loaded up on my laptop, but I can't show you that. But this is the expected range on that. So I don't know if we're going to get back down there. Today's Friday, or we'll see what happens. The expected move high is roughly in this region here, because basically it goes off of wherever Friday closes. When Friday closes at that closing price, that will be the midpoint of next week's expected move, high and low. But coming into resistance, we'll see what happens, right? Pretty good sized down move there for the last 4-hour session. The only you got a nice spike last hour. Did not get a nice spike on last hour on Risk or Bitcoin or on Ethereum either. So basically, if this is going to be a long, I would suggest probably looking at Ethereum instead, because it is down 3.67%, whereas Bitcoin is down 1.5%. Make no mistake, 1.5% down on Bitcoin is nothing when it has volatility. I've seen Bitcoin trade as low as 10 and 11% in a day. I've seen it trade as high as 10 and 11% in a day. So, 1.5% to the downside, although it looks bad compared to the price action that we've had for the last 2 days, it is in by no means or no fashion a really big down day yet. It can get to be a really big down day, but as of right now, it isn't. If this short is going to continue lower, I don't think that you would even get back up to the point of control, but we'll see what happens here in a second. And while we're waiting on that, let me answer some of these questions real quick, if there is any questions. A lot of good mornings. Happy Jackson Hole Day. Yep, thank you very much. Thank you for being here. Snowboarded at Jackson Hole when I was 16. 5 stars. Yeah, it's a nice resort for sure. I've never been there. Too much snow. I'm a Florida boy. I don't like snow. It's beautiful to look at from the inside out. Like if you're inside of a nice heated lodge looking at the snow, it's beautiful. But I don't want to drive in it, play in it, work in it, eat in it, or nothing. I don't like it. Snow is nasty. It's cold and wet. Those mixed signals are on purpose. They want to keep us guessing. When you say they, I hope you don't mean market makers, because that's not how market makers work. They is price. You're right. Price does like to keep you guessing. Candlesticks, bar charts, anything that you look at to show you where price has moved in a specific given point of time, it is an advertising tool. That is correct. Candlesticks show us where price has been, and it even shows us a story if you can interpret them the correct way. But they are nothing more than a mechanizing tool. An advertising tool. It's advertising to buyers and sellers all the time. Hey, I'm high. Do you want to buy or do you want to sell? Hey, I'm low. Do you want to buy or do you want to sell? It's just an advertising mechanism. So yeah, very, very much so. It is got us on our back feet this morning. Good morning. Don't remind me about the short. I got schooled. It's all right. Yeah, I remember yesterday you got faked out a couple times and stuff like that. But, that's price action. No, none of us know what price is going to do. People always ask me multiple times a day, every single day, should I buy here? Should I sell here? Do I do this? Do I do this? Where is a good place to be a buyer? Where is a good place to be a seller? These are answers I can't answer because I don't know what price is going to do. If I did, I would tell you, well, let's wait for the new low, then we'll get long. But I don't know. It's about probabilities. It's about taking trades at the best and highest probable areas and over time be consistently profitable. That's how trading works, right? We just use what we know as far as our knowledge to take trades based on places on the chart. And sometimes they will work out, sometimes they will not. So I just don't know. But the 3 areas that I was watching currently today was the daily low, daily support, and then hourly support. And the last 2 hours completely decimated all. So, not looking to take a long anymore. If you were going to, you would do that at the low of day, but this is the problem when trying to take trades against the trend or trying to pick a bottom when price is moving lower with a little bit of aggressiveness, is this low might not be the low. Like if you're looking at it on a 5-minute time frame, where's the low? I bet people thought that was the low. I bet people bought there. Then they got stopped out when this low came in. So finding out where the low is going to be is almost impossible unless that low is at a specific part in the chart that shows either supply or demand or support or resistance, or an old swing low or an old, you get what I'm saying. Jay Powell, the Fed, is at the center of economic universe today and at a symposium in Jackson Hole. Oh, you were explaining something to Mr. Will. Gotcha. The Ethereum, it doesn't look good on the hourly here. You're currently testing around the midpoint of the breakdown candle. This is the breakdown candle there. But like I said, on Ethereum, it looked like, I think you had already made a fresh low or taken out yesterday's low with this wick. And then boom, that candle right there closed below hourly support. So if support was going to hold take yesterday's low out, you want to see a bullish reaction, and you did get a bullish reaction there. So if you did get long down there, this candle, the breakdown below support, would have told you to exit that position. Please, is there audio from your end? Yes, there should be. There's 91 people in here currently, and nobody's complaining about audio except for you. So maybe just refresh Mr. Edom or Mrs. Edom. Just refresh your YouTube page. Please, SNX USDT. It's 8:30, so hang on. Let's go see what the numbers are, if we can get them up. So it was a miss. Previous was 4.8. Forecasted was 4.7. It was actually 4.6. And then the PCE price index year over year is 6.8 was the previous. There you go. So, maybe getting long at the bottom there. This is resistance coming in here. So, you got 30 minutes left on this close. There goes the dollar. There was a miss, so that would be bearish for the dollar. And then we got the 10 o'clock Fed chair coming up. So, every bit of this move could get sold into. But watch resistance currently on Ethereum is here. And then also that is where your point of control is as well. So you can see that there. That's your red line. That's your point of control. Don't get too slap happy about looking for longs just yet. Dollar's making a fresh low on the day. Bitcoin almost returned back to bullish territory on the day. DXY looks like it is trending lower. The Aussie Swiss trade was red. This number, it is in great shape now. Ethereum USD is currently rejecting at hourly resistance. Let's get hourly up there. I wish you guys would watch hourly charts instead of 5 minutes. Just by doing that little thing right there will increase your win percentage. I almost guarantee it. If you just look at hourly charts, will help you so much more than watching 5-minute time frames. All right, so currently we have a bullish engulf on the hourly. Only if I was looking to get long on Bitcoin, your risk would be terrible, but you could watch 21,395 for potential bullish entries. That is a very nasty, nasty candle. So let's see if we can shrink that up on a 30-minute. We cannot. Can't do anything with it on a 15-minute either. Ethereum is struggling there. Bitcoin is well above it. So that is currently going to be demand as long as you don't close an hourly back under 21,395. So just give it a second. We still might be able to get in a long position here. Just give me a minute. Big freaking spike on Bitget. Oh, also, for anybody that's new to the channel, I am an affiliate for Bitget. If you want to use the platform, they have 0 KYC. They have a great platform. It is not clunky. It's good to look at. No KYC, up to $4,000 in gifts and redemptions. It's a fantastic exchange to trade on. It's the best exchange to trade on for active traders because they have less fees than anybody, less than Binance, less than anybody. They are the number one exchange for cheap fees. There is a link in the description. Use code XTSC, X-Ray Tango Sierra Charlie, when you open up an account. No KYC, smooth transitions from your cold storage to exchange, seamless. SPX traded right up there to that resistance. You did not make a fresh high. Wait. That could be yesterday's high. You did make a fresh high of day on the SPX and immediately rejected. But you did not take out yesterday's high either. For us to see bullish prices, we need to see it get above and hold above daily resistance, which is right there. That's daily res. It's also the open of the day. You want to see it get above that and keep closing above that for bullish continuation. Yep. So the short trade is done, obviously, from yesterday. My stop loss was trailed much lower than that. I was trailing it over each swing low. My stop loss was trailed over that stop. So this push up did take out all the unrealized profits, but that's okay because it was a trade to forget about because it had already paid the bills. All right, so the price we're going to watch of interest for retests. I'm not wanting to sell this. Get out of here. Keeps moving up and down for whatever reason. Going to be there at hourly demand. 21,395. Ethereum is there. Probably already hit it. I didn't see how far this 5-minute candle had went down. I guess we could look. Didn't quite get back down there, but almost. That would have been demand 1649.06. But remember, it's not looking great. And the DXY has found support at support. There is support. No, it is not. Get your butt up there. No, it hasn't. It's broken down. Haven't closed under it yet. But for bullish continuation, we want to see this price be closed under with an hourly. That won't happen for another, 23 minutes. SPX getting a big, nice little spike and then getting hammered. Notice the test of demand there on SPX. So this would have been your demand. You did come down and retest that. So as long as you're not closing hourlies under that, you're probably in decent shape for upside continuation, at least until 10 o'clock. And then once Mr. Powell starts speaking, every bit of that could be sold right back off. His speeches usually make the markets do funny things. Good morning, everybody, says Tanko. Isn't the talk in 1.5 hours? Yeah, the speech. Yep. What percentage of your trade do you use to take profit? I do 2/3 of the original position. I don't do it by percentage win because sometimes I might be up 10% on a trade. Sometimes depending on what, risk, depending on leverage, depending on this, I've taken profits with trades above 100%. So I don't take a percentage of profits. I use 2/3 of my position. So I enter a position with a big position, but I try to maintain that with the stop loss under a major swing low to be no more than 2%. Usually it's 1%. In FX, I never take a trade more than 1%. But in crypto, sometimes I do a little bit more, right? So you want your risk to be 2%, and then if you get a 2-to-1 or 3-to-1 risk to reward, then you're going to be up 6% in that scenario. You take 2/3 of the position size off, move your stop to break even, then you've been paid on the trade. You won't make the full amount, obviously, but you will make a big chunk of it. And that's profit going into your account. So now when you do that, you have 1/3 of your original position size left on, which would be a standard size stop loss for a swing trade. So you're leaving on about the amount of a position that you would take if you were looking for a swing trade. And then this way, when you get stopped out, the only thing you're losing is unrealized P&L. You're not losing any money from your account. That's the goal of this. When you enter into a position, you are risking your capital. The goal is to make your money back plus more, then exit the trade and leave a small piece on for potential continuation. Which, most of the time you're going to get stopped out because the markets chop back and forth, move up and down, up and down, up and down. And depending on where you take that entry, if you get lucky and you nail the very dead top of a trend, and that 1/3 position is going to ride for multiple days and weeks. I had to kick on the fan because I'm burning up. Bitcoin ripped. Yeah, it did. Yeah, PCE was lower. That is why you're getting a move. The expected was 4.7. Previous last month was 4.8. So the market was forecasting a little bit lower, 4.7, and it actually was 4.6. So lower than expectations. That's why you got a little bit of a rip there. But it should be... I'm not exactly sure how PCE works. I'm not a macro guy. I know how core inflation works, and you definitely want that number lower. So a lower number on core inflation is typically a beat. But for whatever reason, according to Daily FX, a lower PCE is a miss or red. And besides that, it doesn't even matter if you know, what the number should be, if you think you know what the market will do if a certain number comes in, because you have the news and then you have the market's interpretation of that news, then you have the market's reaction of that news. So whether it's good news for, say, Bitcoin, whether you think it's a newsprint, a number that should make Bitcoin go higher, it doesn't always work out that way, because you have the news and then the market's reaction to the news. And then I also have seen what was bad news for Bitcoin, should have had Bitcoin going much lower. I have seen Bitcoin trade higher all day long. One of my best trades on Bitcoin was waiting. We had FOMC. What Powell said should have been extremely bad news for risk and Bitcoin. But it ripped all day long, making new daily high after new daily high. And then right around the close of the day, I took a short position expecting that move to be faded. And it was faded hard the next day. So I really don't care about news that much. I just have the areas that are interesting me for taking entries on the charts. And then I see how the market reacts to that news. And then I try to get the entry in at a specific area. We definitely want to see the dollar close below that support. The dollar is red on the day, good red on the day as well. It has to go much higher in order to become bullish on the day. It did stall out at resistance. So looking at where we currently are, I would expect the dollar to take out yesterday's low. We got hourly support there. Intraday support is not nearly as good as daily supports. The higher the time frame, the better the weight you can put on a specific level. So SPX is struggling at daily res. You can see there's your daily resistance on the SPOOs. Right there. Ethereum holding resistance, demand. decently. Why do I keep doing that? It's still at resistance, however. Just watch that price, 1649.66. Once again, your risk would have to be big since that candle is so big to the downside. But this wouldn't be a trade that you would be setting up for today. This will, there's a really good high probability that this could be faded at 10 o'clock. So whatever bullish action happens, if you're trading under the low of yesterday, you could get all the way up to 1709 and be sold right back off again. And the SPY has been sold right back off to where the news happened. That's where the news happened. And you went right back to it. So if you did buy this down here, for whatever reason, taking profits would not be a bad idea. Personal spending, big miss. That's not going to be bullish, I don't think. Because this country in America, when people are spending money, that's when our economy is doing good. When people are not spending money, then that means the economy isn't as good as people think it is. We can look at this by two different tickers. We can watch Dollar General, because it's a store for poor people, essentially. It's got cheap items, in other words, right? A lot of people in America shop at Dollar General. Yesterday they had earnings. Let's get this off. Yesterday we had earnings on Dollar General. Dollar Tree and Dollar General both had earnings yesterday. Both of them beat on earnings, and as you can see, it was sold off. Now, I was expecting that move to be faded this morning and into today, but we will see. The market isn't open yet, so I can't take positions based on it. And currently where it is on the daily time frame, I'm not looking to be a buyer anyways. It's setting up at around all-time highs. So, if the market's going to see further downside continuation, then this will be one of my favorites to look for shorts. But if the market's going to recover because inflation has topped out, then this will probably make all-time highs. And then Dollar Tree, same thing. There you go. Yesterday you had earnings. It was a beat on earnings, and still you got pummeled. Which means, people are shopping at these stores. And intraday, Dollar Tree hasn't recovered. Not even close. Whereas Dollar General has. Not really a whole lot of useful data there, but it is helpful to traders, right? To know where does the overall market stand. You get a beat on Dollar Tree, Dollar General. That means that people are still spending money at their stores, which is what we need for our economy. We need people to spend money. So what we want to see here on the SPX is we want to see it start to trend away from where the news happened, higher, because that would mean that risk or Bitcoin, Ethereum would probably continue higher. If it starts to trade lower under 41.88, then this will more than likely be probably a pretty good area to look for shorts around 10 o'clock. So we'll keep an eye out. All right. I gotta set some things up here real quick. $16.61. We want to keep that on the intraday chart. All right, beautiful. That did that. And this one's going to be harder. Two-thirds of the position you can look at like taking 65% or even up into 70% of the position off. So I guess if you were referring to percentages that way, then you can do that, right? Because on Bitget it allows you to take profits in 1% increments. So you can do the math and see what 2/3 of the position would be or whatnot. So basically, when I say 2/3, that's just what I do. You can build a trading strategy to where you actually take whatever works for you. And over time, you will have enough data to look back on and say, well, look, I make more money when I take 50% profits than I do when I take 70% profits, right? For me, for my trading, for my past data, it works best for me to take 70% off than 50. And you would be surprised on how much 50% of profits versus 70% of profits would be over a long period of time, right? Because that's what you need in order to become profitable. You need to find those little tiny things inside of your strategy that makes you profitable and that don't. Like I seen who was it? TradingView. Somebody put out a tweet yesterday, a big company, that said something like, most retail traders don't understand that you can be a profitable trader by winning 1 out of every 10 trades. 1 out of every 10 trades. It's highly unlikely to me that someone would have a profitable equity curve if you're only winning 1 out of every 10, unless you have impeccable risk management. I mean impeccable. And taking very, very small positions. So you could have a profitable equity curve or trending up, but still not be making much money, right? And retail wants to make as much money as possible. And I did too when I was first starting out. But I've tweaked my strategy, I've tweaked my systems, my rules and everything to the point to where I know over time I just keep doing what I'm doing now, and it works out great. And also the way that I do things will also allow me to nail some of my biggest wins have come from not the first original day trade, but from the weeks and weeks and weeks that the trade still kept going in my direction because of that 1/3 piece of original position size that I left on. Ended up making my whole year. Like Bitcoin, for instance, when I faded that FOMC move, that was a massive, massive win. Massive win. And I did that with zero risk on the table. Zero risk. It was unrealized profit. So that's what I was risking. But as far as a risk to my account was zero. And some of your best trades are going to be ones that you just take and then they just keep going and going and going. And you don't get those very often, right? Well, last year, 2022 Bitcoin was obviously my biggest trade of the year. The year prior to that, pound yen was my biggest trade of the year. And those two trades right there essentially made my year, right? I didn't have to take another trade. And that's what trading is. Investing, trading, whatever you want to call it. It's taking risk at a place where you think eventually will be a good place to take a risk. And you can do that by day trading. I know you won't hear that from other YouTubers, but those YouTubers don't know what they're talking about. My risk profile Like if you were to compare my brokerage statements with some of those swing traders' brokerage statements, you will see that I'm taking less risk because most of my biggest wins come from trades that have zero risk capabilities. The only thing I can lose is unrealized P&L. Well, unrealized P&L is nothing anyways. It isn't anything until you realize it. So realizing that profit is that's when it's fun. And you can do that also by cutting that in half, right? So like on pound yen, when it was just trending up and up and up and up, whenever the amount of money that I had in unrealized P&L, once it became significant, I would cut the position in half. Just go ahead and take half off. So like if you're up 10, 15 grand on a trade, or however much, I don't know what your risk profile is, but you cut that in half. You leave half the money on there, the half of the unrealized, then you've realized half of it. And you just watch your account grow. So I was kind of wanting to see Bitcoin get back down to demand, especially now that SPX is trading above daily resistance. SPX would have been a fantastic trade. Unfortunately, the market isn't open yet, so I can't buy options. Ethereum is just trending higher, which looks great. Let's find out where the high of day is on Ethereum, though, because that's going to be the high of day. What is that fib even there for? Oh, earlier. There's your open and the high of day. Yes. So if we were to, say, go from there to there, you're trading above the 618 retracement. But you're into old support as well. That's where we were wanting to look for entries. Same goes for Bitcoin. And then to line that up, like I said, it's not going to be so much of a day trade. It'll be more of a swing trade because the risk is so big. It would look something like that. Just at least get it under support. You don't have to go all the way to the low of day. So just a 2-to-1 risk to reward would put you at a fresh high of day, fresh high. You would take out yesterday's high as well. But the fact that it's already just trending away from that, we want it to trade back down to it. And we don't want to see it get under it. And that's pretty much all you got. I don't see anybody. Damn, man, those little sex robots like to come into these trading chats. It doesn't make much sense. Futures open interest just crashed on that spike. I don't know what indicator or metric are you looking at for open interest. I don't have hourly data for open interest. I only have daily data. So I won't be able to see that. Yeah, I won't be able to see it till tomorrow. I don't know what you're probably looking at, some other indicator or some other metric, or maybe you do have Glassnode and you have the most expensive plan. And if you do, you can get hourly data. DXY looking good. That's the low of day. Well, the low of yesterday, sorry. That's looking good. SPX. Trying to take out yesterday's high. Beautiful entry on SPX. If you could have traded it. Once again, that was down here. If you weren't here, let's get rid of that so you can see it. Just fantastic. That's your demand level there. Price breaks out above it. Comes back with a wick. Bing. Entry. Which you would have made money there on the first, within 5 minutes. risk to reward on that wasn't that bad. That was 2-1 easily. This is exactly why I'm flat. Good job. Being flat is a position. I wish I knew what you were looking at. No credits left for that futures open interest. Let me go down to the bottom of the chat. All right, so let me go back here and see. Oh, somebody wanted to look at something, and I don't remember what. SNX. Yeah, we'll go look at SNX now that we've gotten the news. You didn't say what exchange, so we'll just look at it on this exchange, which is Binance. It looks good. It had a little bit of downside last week, like everything else, but it's still a higher low. So as long as you're not taking out this swing low down here, you got a higher low and a higher high. So the trend is still up. There isn't a trend line that can be made there. In fact, it's going to look like it's broken down from it, which it has, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the trend is busted. As long as you have a higher low intact, your trend is still good. It will start to look bad, though, if it does trade up, find resistance, and roll over and take out this low. Then you will have a lower high, lower low sequence. But as of right now, I mean, you still do have that, depending on which low you look at. It doesn't look bad, in my opinion. Also, in my opinion, if Bitcoin's low remains to be the low, this will too, more than likely. So you just got to watch for supports. And this one has literally so many of them on the daily time frame, finding exactly which one's going to be impossible. So always revert back to your higher time frames and find the bigger ones. That was the resistance until this candle broke out. This is the first time you've retested that. That was the place for bullish entries. As you can see, you traded down to that weekly res right there. Bing! That would have been your bullish entry. And you would still be holding that trade for a profit. Whether you took profits on this day or not, I would have. Always take profits. If I put risk on the table, I am going to take profits. If it gets, better than 2, 3 to 1. Sometimes if I don't like what something's doing, I'll take profits at 1 to 1. Profits is what I'm after. I don't look for a specific percentage win. I just want profits. I can enter a position and then exit the position with more money than I had before. I consider that success. Okay, right, got that. We bounced clean off a lower 8-hour Bollinger Band, probably. Personal spending, a big miss, Mr. Tom O'Donnell. 44 degrees this morning at my house. Damn. It was, the heat index yesterday was like 118 here. Very disgusting. Hot. Right now, I bet it's 90 degrees outside. And the sun is just barely up. Well, it's up good now. It's 9 o'clock. It's dark in my office. If you take the 21.39 long on Bitcoin, where's your stop loss? You would have to do it under support at least. So same scenario for this. If you were to get long there, which probably has missed the boat, right? The boat has been missed on that. Then you would just simply look to take your stop and put it under support. There. This would have been a difficult trade to take for me, because you got resistance there, you got resistance here. So if you broke through this resistance, then I would want my profit target to be the next resistance in the daily range, which is right there. So if you did take that trade, take profits now. Same for Bitcoin. Now, go ahead and start scaling off. If this is going to be a short squeeze, then it's going to go for days. It looks good as a daily candle right now, man. It's above daily res. Look at that. See how things change in the span of one day? If you get up there and take out yesterday's high, you're going to have a bullish engulfing on the day. And bing, there it is. Bullish engulfing. That is if today closes bullish. If it closes bearish, you'll have a bearish engulfing. That's a shitty open, man. Very shitty price action today. But damn, oh damn, anybody that got long on that low. Whoo-hoo-hoo. You're doing good. The way my strategy works is I look for liquidation points, right? This is a liquidation. Every single daily low is a liquidation point. Once you got below that, I probably would have stopped looking for bullish entries, but then there's your next liquidation point, and look at that. Just liquidated and see ya. Right? Obviously, your next liquidation point, down there. So those are the places where you want to look for your entries. Or at resistance or support, right? But if you just don't have a clean setup, you just leave it alone. You have liquidated yesterday's low. So now anybody that wants to get long the dollar, they're going to do it there. Doesn't mean it will work. It just means that's probably where they're likely to do it. Let's go over here and look at the euro trade. See how that baby's doing. But we want to look at it on Oanda because that's where we have our current position. Right there should be. So nice. It can keep going as much as it wants. So I've already taken profits on it. So I'm not really looking to take more profits on it just yet. But I will trail this stop up there to underneath that swing low. Because I'm pretty sure it's, if it's going to be, if even Powell comes out and says even good or better news, then I could see this trending higher for many days. You have parity right here. Parity just means $1 when it's trading equal to that of the dollar. Parity right there. So you can see parity was acting as resistance. And it even did it once before over here. We traded into parity down there. And then you had a bunch of sideways garbage. Then you broke out to the upside and down. Parity. So the trend is still down on the higher time frames. Well, this is the wrong chart. Probably over here I got it. We'll just put on Euro USD. Doesn't matter which one. I don't even have parity drawn out up on this either, but you get the point. It's still in a downtrend. I was just going to show you that your RSI was probably beat up a little bit on the daily time frame. I don't have the RSI over here. I do have Stokes, and they are oversold. So a bounce is what I was expecting when I took the trade. And then Aussie Swiss, see, it's back to red on the day, but it's still in good shape. We were taking it on this daily's low here. We were into an area of support. On this daily candle, we were trading down into intraday support. We took the long. Good shape. But this isn't likely to continue, maybe, right? After you get up here and liquidate this stuff, which you did yesterday, to be fair, maybe it comes back down. Also, there's supply right there. Right there is supply. So we definitely want to move this one up as well. We'll trail it up underneath yesterday's low and see what happens. Once again, it had already taken profits. So there's no point in taking more profits just yet. Nice little breakout there. Yeah, baby. Daily support. That's a breakdown. You can see how you trapped it out. There's your close down below. Next day, trap. Look for bullish entries. Remember, if the low is in, if inflation starts trending higher, you're never going to get a chance to buy $3,600 again. And the same goes for Bitcoin, guys. If the low is in, you're probably never going to get a chance to buy even 18 grand again. But it can go all the way up to right there and roll right back over. That is what we were looking for. We're looking for weekly supply. And it's right there. It's not quite monthly resistance. And this is still August. Historically, September has been bad month for Bitcoin. Historically, that means since Bitcoin's inception, it has made way more down Septembers than up Septembers. So, being bullish just up to there. And you don't have to get up there. We can watch him while he says what he says. See if he says anything that means anything to the markets, how they react. And right now, volatility is down on Bitcoin. Even with this little up spike, it is still down. You can see that by looking at it on the 4-hour time frame. See all this volatility? It's just chopping back and forth. You're still trading inside of this range. So you can absolutely liquidate this high and roll right back over. Yeah. Let's go down. Big money turned the boat around. Jesus, man. Right behind you, Trade Talk. Game plan remains the same for last week. Yes, still to this, yes. We're looking for Bitcoin to trade up so we can short it. Essentially. Unless it closes a weekly back above weekly supply. If this week closes above weekly supply, then we don't look for it to be shorted. Because ultimately, we think the low is in. No matter how low it goes, I still think the low is in. And next CPI print, if it's lower, then higher, then obviously the low probably won't be in. But as of right now, with everything we got now, with the data we got now, I think the low is in. I added the stop loss to break even. Good job. 300 minutes, please. Held my position to negative 60%. Holy cow. That's brutal. That is brutal. Held my position to negative 60%, then back up to positive 70. Currently holding. Move stop loss to break even. Just, damn, man. If you're willing to set into a position that's 60% of a loss, another 10% your broker or your exchange would have liquidated your whole account. They would have closed your trade out because you're 70% beyond margin. They would have closed your whole account and you would see triple zeros. Don't let your account get to negative 60 ever. Because just another little tiny stab lower and then your exchange is going to swallow your entire account. And you're going to be crying and you're going to be upset. You don't even realize how close you were to complete and total annihilation. Be careful, man. Be careful. That is risky trading right there. But I'm glad it worked out for you. What I would do if I was in your position, I would take profits right now since you're still on highs. Then you don't have nothing to worry about. It's over with. Goodness. Oh man, I think it's 11 out of 13 Septembers have been bearish. And the 2 bullish years were Bitcoin's first 2 years. That sounds right to me. I'm not going to say that it isn't right. That sounds normal to me. I know for 100% certainty that, historical data shows that September is usually bad for Bitcoin as far as on a down close. A monthly close that is bearish. Doesn't mean you're going to be at new lows. It just means that you're probably going to be red on the month next month. We've got a few more days on this month. Next Wednesday will be the monthly close. My favorite time of the month to trade. Why can't I block this person? I should be able to annihilate any person inside of this chat that I so choose, but for some reason it doesn't give me those options. I can report them, remove them, put them in timeout, or hide them. Whatever. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Will. Is that person. Jay Bradley reported and timed him out, that sex bot, but it keeps coming back. It's because it's different bots. This one was named .xyz, chat1.xyz. The first one was just chat.xyz. He's probably got 1 million of them too. I hate bots. YouTube and Twitter are both terrible because of the bots that they let run rampant over their platform. Nice big strong breakout above that trend line. And once again, if you're just getting here, because some people are, this trend line is just taken from the high on August the 16th to the high on August the 18th. So it's like nothing special. We can even get rid of it now because clearly we're breaking out. We still got a little bit of time left. We got 15 minutes until the open, and then we'll check out some stocks. People longing the top. OI increasing, but only after a crash of 20 million on Bitget. Okay? Heath, when was the last time you got in a fist fight? When I was 35. So 7 years ago. Once you get older, like I'm boomer status now. I think once you get over 40, you're boomer status. When you get old, you don't want to do that anymore because like even that fight I won, but I couldn't write for like 8 weeks because my finger was stowed up pretty bad. It takes longer to heal. Fist fighting is for young men, 25 and under. Anything over than that, and you're old. You're considered old to be a fighter. That's why you don't see many men in the UFC that are over 35. There's a few, but not many. And if they are over 35, they're gladiators. It's as simple as that. They're a very small percentage of the overall population. Men that are over 35 and still fighting in the octagon. I used to be a wild child. For sure. And I like to drink, so, yep. I had good weight on me when I was 35 years old. I was 212 pounds with about 10% body fat. Now I'm about 800% body fat. I look like a barrel now. You can roll me down a hill. So no, I'm not fighting anybody. Not happening. Too lazy for that. Report for terrorism, I don't have that option, or I would. Sex bots should be considered terrorists. Any bots, in my opinion, because they're annoying. Bots, that's what Musk said, yeah. Yeah, that's the reason he don't want to buy Twitter, because they don't have actual users. 90% of users is bots. That's obviously a very high inflated number. I don't know what the actual percentage, but If it's over 20, it's too high. Why did you fight? Yeah, we're not going to get into that. When I was young, it didn't take a lot, man. I'm Scotch-Irish. I'm an alcoholic. I lift weights. I pumped iron. So I was full of all the testosterone a man needs to just let some guy say, you are stupid, or anything. So yeah, it wasn't a real legit reason, if that's what you're asking. It was two very, very belligerent men throwing bombs at each other. We used to fight a lot when we were kids, though. Learn jujitsu? Yeah, that's not a bad thing to learn. Just break some dude's arm if he swings it at you. Throw him in an arm bar. Rear naked chokes. Just like your gains in Bitcoin, 800%. 800% body fat. It's not that much. I over exaggerate, but I could definitely put. Right now, my mat. I'm in my stand up position on my desk. So, and I have a mat that I stand on. My dumbbells are sitting on it, so I can't pull it to me. Yeah, I'm not gonna move them. For anybody that's new to the chat, we're waiting on the New York Open. It's 9:29 or 9:19 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We need 9:30. I don't think you're going to see a whole lot of moves on like your majors, Bitcoin, Ethereum, stuff like that. They've probably already made in their big move until the meeting or the press conference. We'll watch that. I'm not going to watch the whole thing, though, because we've already been live for a while, an hour and 19 minutes. I don't want to have a stream on my channel that's got 5 hours worth of, because no one's going to sit and watch 5 hours of a stream. I do the lives for you guys that are here live, more or so, or more or less. We all know you don't write. Yeah, well, back in those days, I had a job, 35. Well, it was about the end of my job, but I did paperwork. Just writing my name on a check or anything is what I meant. Fingers and hands were messed up bad, and it took a long time to heal. A long time. I don't heal as good as I used to, is all I meant. Oh, let's see here. Starting to drop frames. So I don't know if I'll even be able to stream the speech, to be honest with you, because it's dropping frames now. Let me go move it, see if that helps it. We'll see if that helps it catch back up. It's obviously lagged up. Do I ever trade drunk? No. No, I take trades between 7 and 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I don't drink until after 5. Good morning, Trade Talkers. Good morning, Miguel. It's more important to weight train when you're older. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. What indicator you are use? I am new to the channel. I'm not sure. I don't have any indicators on the TV or on the monitor right now. I do use a couple. I use moving averages, your basic moving averages, and an RSI. Those are the two indicators I use the most. And I use intraday volume profile, right? Only intraday. Because in my opinion, that's the only way volume profile works. the intraday, because I'm looking for these intraday trades. So I want to know where volume traded at which price the most. See how today you're coming into yesterday's volume profile point of control. That's where the most volume traded yesterday. So it's natural that when the candle pushes up into there, there's going to be orders still sitting there from yesterday. There's still volume setting at that price. Orders are volume, right? Orders. That's what a volume is. So there's orders setting there. We don't know if they're buys. We don't know what they are. We know yesterday they were sells, most of them. So people are probably selling up there. Right over here on Bitcoin, this is what price we're waiting on to see if we get above that. And then if we get a rejection, if so, we'll probably try to take a short on it. Just simply because, the trend is lower. And what we're in right now, although it's a little bit long to be considered a bear flag, it's still an ascending channel, and those can break down to the downside. I don't know if you'll even get up there. We had a big spike from the PCE numbers, which is the numbers the Fed watches most to determine monetary policy. So, this could get sold off as soon as once Powell starts speaking. If he likes what he sees on the numbers, maybe he wants to raise interest rates by a whole % again. It's unlikely that he's going to, but if he does, the market will probably take that bearish. And then this move that we just had will be faded, essentially. If he says something like, we're probably going to slow down monetary policy, we're going to slow down the rate hikes, then you may see bullish continuation. May see it. But that's the price I want to see. I want to see what happens when we get up there. That's 21,925. But this indicator is volume profile, which it might have been the indicator that you've seen and why you're asking. But basically, we're price action traders here. We're just looking at price levels. And we use indicators to help us identify trend, I guess is what you would say. This down here is just it's this week's low expected move that the options market priced in on SPX. So that's probably going to be the low end of the range for the week. And today's Friday, so there's a good chance of it. I don't think you'll be back down there today. If you do get the event and we can't live stream it, we have to close the stream down. Just watch what Powell says. You're looking for words like, we think inflation's topped out. We're going to slow down our aggressive hawkish nature. We're going to, slow that down a little bit. Things like that could make the market get extremely bullish. Extremely bullish. You're struggling right now at 4-hour resistance on Bitcoin, which is also hourly resistance. So it's a pretty decent spot for confluence. I wouldn't short it now, though. I would only think about shorting is if we liquidate 21,925 and then get a bearish reaction. I literally probably would watch 5 hours of the stream. I do have many people that would. A lot of people are fans of the channel. I like it better when we're able to take trades live and then, do that week after week after week and be consistent. They'll come to the channel. When someone's live trading live and showing entries, executions, stop losses, and take profits and consistently winning those, it's going to get out. The word will get out. And then the chat will get flooded because people want to make money. People want to make money. That's all there is to it. So far, the trades that we have taken on stream have been really good. And they will continue to be that way because, well, that's what I do. We got 3 minutes until the open. The frames did stop dropping, so hopefully it'll stay where it is currently. If it does, then we'll see what happens. Well, we got a long time before that speech even gets here. I just want to see how the market reacts upon the New York Open, and we'll probably call it a day. Or 21,295. That's the price we're watching on Bitcoin. Ethereum's is much higher than that. Ethereum's is just, I guess it's just yesterday's high. It almost got there. That's not it. This one. Euro USD's getting a nice big push. That means the dollar's heading lower, which is definitely what you want to see if you are bullish. It's definitely what you want to see. But overall, I mean, the dollars, this is just going to be looked at as a pullback. See this? I mean, that was your bullish trend. You did break down, but that ended up being a bear trap, and you've been had like what, 4 consecutive bullish days there. So you're pulling back a little bit, but this is going to probably find support if the trend is going to continue, I should say. If it doesn't, right, if you take out this low, then you will have a double top essentially. You never liquidated this swing high, or did you? Let's see. So that high is 106, 109, 294, and this high is 109, 270. So you did not liquidate that high. If I was a betting man, I would think that there's a pretty good chance that it would want to do that before rolling over. But it's in the midst of a bullish trend, so, and no matter what indicator you look at, there's your RSI. I mean, you did print a little bit of bearish div there. Not really, because you didn't make a new high, so price did close higher. So I guess you could say that it is bearish div, right? Because there was the close, and then this candle closed higher, but made a much lower close on the RSI. So you do got bearish div on the daily, to be fair. We'll see if it gets down there, and we'll see if that area holds as support. And that would put you roughly around the 50 as well. I don't think you're going to get down there today, but I could be absolutely wrong. We could see just as much volatility from the Fed's speech as we did already, because volatility has been very low. And we can see that simply by doing something like this. This is another volatility measurement indicator, similar to the Bollinger Bands. My internet sucks, so it's going to take a second for it to populate. I bet I can pull up a new chart and it'll just populate it. There it is. All right, beautiful. See how your volatility was squeezing a little bit for the last several days? Here you were starting to stretch out. This is where it started to squeeze, and then it stayed pretty tight. Volatility was compressing. That lets us know that a big move is probably incoming. Also, this indicator just happened to catch the low. It will not always catch the low in a trending environment. So if it's trending, you'll just come up, make another lower high, and roll back over. But as of right now, that thing caught the low to perfection. And it is not proprietary. That indicator is public. Anybody can use it. It is this one right here. Mean reversion channel with Fairfield's or Farid's MRI variant. And there, Mr. Farid himself built it. Right there, if you want it. It's just a volatility indicator. It shows you volatility. The outside of the ranges. Areas where you don't want to take a new short here, right? Because you can get an expansion back to the other side. It's similar to just a simple RSI. It does the same thing, right? You got your overbought, your oversold regions. You can see here the 5-minute time frame generally bounces between overbought and oversold. So you don't want to take a buy. You don't want to get long up here, right? No. you don't necessarily want to short it either, because here was a peak and you can see there was the peak. So if you did take a short based on that peak, you did get stopped out. But over time, I think a person could build a profitable strategy just by watching the 5-minute RSI. Wait to take longs when you're oversold. Wait to take sells when you're overbought. And if you take profits quickly, you might be able to do it. But it's a very, it's just one of those things. It's going to work sometimes, but not all the time. All right, it's 9:30. You can see that we're not getting much out of nothing here. Let's just take a look and see what markets are red. Apple's red, but it will probably be not red very much longer. AMD's down almost 0.5%. Amazon down 0.25%. Bank of America up, Ford up, Facebook up, Fiverr up, Google down 2%. Intel up, but barely. So overall, you got a lot of things that are bullish. Riot's up. Shouldn't be, but it is. Well, Bitcoin's bullish on the day, so sorry, I take that back. And Mara's probably up as well. It is barely. MicroStrategy's is down. Why is MicroStrategy down? MicroStrategy, that would have been a decent little trade on MicroStrategy, but it didn't get down there. Maybe it did. Intraday. Nope. You're currently trading above 4-hour support. So you opened just under support. And now you're getting a spike. Pretty decent sized spike. This thing isn't good to trade. It doesn't have much intraday volume. It'll probably have more volume today, though, because Bitcoin does. MicroStrategy follows that pretty good. We did have someone looking at Apple the other day. I don't know if he got long or if he got short. I think he got long. Let me see real quick. Yeah. Anyways, it's gonna, SPX follows most of these big stocks. So Apple's probably going to find support. That was yesterday's close, so it looks like right now Apple's trading at yesterday's support. Or what yesterday where the close was, sorry, not support. The close. And then let's check out our meme stocks. Bed Bath & Beyond's back up 7% after taking annihilation to the downside. Look at this. Boom. But it's still up from where it found support. I don't know why people like to trade this thing. GameStop, not doing much. AMC had a nice pop, but it's been faded. Bed Bath & Beyond's the only one that hasn't been faded. Not entirely yet. Yeah. So nothing's moving really bad. That was a lot of volatility that we got from that move. A little bit of a sell-off would be normal. The speech is going to be an hour and 20 minutes. Now just wait until tomorrow. The trade already happened. Yes, I agree. I agree with you. I am eager, says Will. That's called FOMO. You got to get rid of it. It's hard to do that when London Open takes all the gold home. Yeah, the London session does have a lot of really good moves, especially on these 24-hour traded markets, for sure. I kind of get jealous of it myself, being asleep at that time. Don't get too popular, Heath will be flooded. No, I'm not. That's not the goal. The goal is to not get popular. Not the goal. I'm just saying that, if you keep taking winning trades on the live stream, it will get out. So maybe we'll throw some to keep it small, right? I believe double tops work out 33% of the time. Yeah, I haven't back tested that, so I can't tell you. I know it's not as often as people think because markets tend to trend, right? They tend to trend. So all the double tops that you tried to sell on the SPX over the past 20 years probably didn't work out that great. I mean, this thing pretty much only goes one direction, right? Up. So selling a double top, maybe it worked on a day trade. I'm sure you made plenty of money shorting double tops and day trades, but like overall, buy and holds, double tops not the move to make. So this is just a pullback, guys. I mean, you've been bullish on the SPX for multiple weeks in a row. This last two are pullbacks. We'll see if this thing finds support. If it does, I think your low is in. You're barely bullish on the day. Can't really get anything going today. It's trying, but there's your open, there's your low, current high. If you make a fresh low on the day, then you're going to see more downside. If it maintains trading above yesterday's close, then I think you're going to see more upside. Were you long? Oh, not talking to me. Five-minute chart is giving the middle finger. Yep. 80% of the time works every time. Okay. So do we go long or short now? Now you don't do anything. If you want to get short, you're going to be watching 21.925. If you get a bearish reaction, once you get above that and it drops back down, you can take a chance at it. But make sure you're not risking a whole lot of money, because as of right now, with the volatility that we've just seen, and depending on what Powell says at 10 o'clock, will determine this thing's direction for the rest of the day. So shorting a volatile rip like that, it can work occasionally, right? Like I said, if he comes out and he's talking about hikes are going to remain the same, everything's going to remain the same, then this move will likely get faded. And that's the price to look for shorts, as that will smoke anybody that's got short already. Because, trust me, retail has shorted every single spike up. They have probably taken 14 shorts in a period of an hour. I'm not trying to laugh at it. It's just, there's only one price to watch for a short, and that's that. And I won't be live to tell you if I'm taking it or not, right? People will know because of the Discord, but I'm not looking to short it. I want to see if it holds support. I'm looking to get long. I'm looking for it to get back up to weekly supply. That's where I would like to take a short trade, if the trade is going to remain short. Right now, the probabilities are that any move up will likely get sold into. So the first price to watch for that would be 21,925. You want to see a rejection there. So you're still in the game if you're looking for a short. Your price hasn't even been tagged yet. I know I get scalped by, see here, I have already destroyed this bot many times. Maybe there's a way for me to change all this in the settings. I'll look into the YouTube settings after I close the stream out. And I've hid the person as well, so they shouldn't ever be able to show any messages from this point forward. We need link to press conference. I don't have it. It's probably going to be the here, let me see if I can find it. I know one of my people in this chat knows the link to it. If they can't drop it in the Discord if you know the link, and I'll put it out. I think mods can drop links to where the Fed speech is going to happen. Let me search here for a second. Probably going to be the Fed's official YouTube channel. The Federal Reserve is probably where you're going to be watching it. And here is the link. I'll drop it in the chat right now. This is probably where the live stream will be. Missed that trade. I am all cash. It's not, that wasn't an easy trade to take because it took out our support level that we were watching. We were watching daily support and then yesterday's low. So those were the two places where we were potentially going to take a long entry. Right up there is where I'm talking about looking for potential shorts if it were to get up there. But this price and this price are the prices that we were watching for bullish entries. And you can see that we got well beneath it. Didn't get back over it until the newsprint. So I mean, one could have potentially put a buy stop there and thrown a stop limit there, but I did not. But those were the prices we were watching for long entries. It just did more, right? It went down and liquidated the bullish day from last week, or this week. Sorry, what was it? Tuesday? Wednesday, I can't remember. No, it was a bearish day. That low. So it went down a little further. But that would have been a place to watch also as well, I guess. And it's right there. Yeah, it was a tough one, right? Very, very tough one. Also, if the news would have came out, higher, you would have got that size of a move to the downside. Trading news is difficult. Even if you know what the numbers should do, it's still difficult. SPX is back under the open, so that means it's bearish on the day. So even though we've had good news, we've gotten a nice bullish rip, it is not able to stay bullish on the day. Am I going to watch the speech live? Probably not, because my internet's already dicking out. A lot of people have left, so I'm assuming that's when the frame started to drop, right? When the frames start to drop, then that makes people's stuff buffer or spin. Yeah, there's nothing I can do about it. It's been the plague of the channel since I started, was being able to go live was because of my internet. It's terrible. Trading Bitcoin and ETH feeling like trading small caps on steroids sometimes. Yeah. I mean, even though that move was big, Bitcoin's still red. Ethereum is still red on the day, and it was only down 4%. So it was a 3-point-something% move. It wasn't a massive move, right? It just looks like it on the 5-minute time frame. But I've seen moves that big before. 4.91%. That's not that much. It's based on the news. In normal low volatile times, you're not going to get 3% moves in the span of 20 minutes. But The news definitely caused it. But like I said, it could potentially be faded. So watch that price, the top of the range. When the speech starts, this will be the price to watch. And it is right there, just above the high of day. If it goes up there and rejects, then that's probably where you want to get your stop. Now, if it does something like this, right, puts a big candle like that above it, I would not be looking to short it. If it just barely gets above it and then starts to go lower, it would be worth 1% of risk to see if this move gets faded. Because we were, look, most people right now are bearish based on last week's candle, if that makes sense. So a lot of people are looking for shorts. They're looking for those short entries. And with the current data that we have, that's the only place on the chart I would look for a short. We shorted it yesterday, right? And it ended up being a really good trade. But now we're well above that. We're well above where we took the short yesterday. Where we're currently at, because we took the short right in here yesterday. So I doubt it. I don't know if it gets faded, right? We'll see. We shall see. All right, so let me see here. Do we got any high flyer low caps? We do. We got MFGP. That's probably a buyout because the candles suck. All right, you're up 90% on the day and you're not really moving. That's probably a buyout. Probably a buyout. And then the next highest mover is up 33%. This thing here. This is a big mover. You can see how it's gapping in between the 5 minute. Now, I don't know if it's getting halted there or not. This charting software is not the best for low float penny cap or low float stocks. No. It's got to move 10% in 5 minutes, I think, in order to get halted. So that's just terrible liquidity in it. Jesus. What is this? Even. I have no idea what's going on with that. But I wouldn't mess with it. And then drug is up a bit. Drug has been up a bit all week. It's been one of the good ones. It's at resistance. All right, so that's probably where I would watch if you can even get shares to short. I don't know if you can. I don't have my other brokerage pulled up right now. But that's the price I would watch. It's weekly resistance. It's not my favorite place to watch. We got resistance here. And you got resistance here. So let's get rid of this. And then up there, if it gets all the way up there. Yeah, right there. If you got shares, short it $4. Stop $4.17. So you're looking for at least a 30-cent move. Mr. Film Garden just dropped the link. It's the same link I dropped in the chat. So thank you, Mr. Film Garden. $4 is where you'd look to short this. If you can get shares, I don't know if you can. Like I said, don't have my broker pulled up. But it would look something like that. Depending on how many shares you buy, obviously will dictate the size of percent you lose. You don't want to lose more than 1% on any initial trade. And you can get there quick. I've seen penny stocks drop 20% in a single second. So be very careful trading low flow highs. I don't even know if it's got a low flow. 41 million shares have been traded already. I don't know what the standard float size is for drug. Let me look it up real quick. Yeah, it's got 11 million shares outstanding. It's got a 6.3 million share float. It is a low float, but it doesn't, most time people are looking for shares where they got much lower than that of a float, but still, it's still a low float. 6 million shares is tiny. That means this thing can absolutely rip your face off in either direction. So I would watch that right there. I do not want to see a 5-minute close above $4, as that is daily resistance. We'll keep that one on down here, though. Not up there. We'll put Bitcoin here. And then the rest, I wouldn't even mess with them because, like I said, the only time I get involved in these things is if they're up, much more than 25%. Because when they're up just like 20%, that's not that big for a low float penny stock. Like those ones when you look over here and they're up 100%, 200%, those are the beasts that everybody's trading. Right? And Bitcoin still has not. What is this? What do I got going on here? Oh, just the fib channel. Finding resistance at the fib channel. It's held pretty good as resistance too. But this is the price we want on Bitcoin. Or to watch. That's the price we want to watch. The SPX is back above its open, which is what we want to see. We want to see that to stay high. Or at least stay green. Pound dollar's ripping too. I should have left that trade on pound dollar. I could have made money on it. I closed it because I didn't take it. It got taken on its own somehow because of an order I forgot to get rid of yesterday. But it would be up good now. Euro USD is up good. USD JPY is down. And Aussie dollar is up. Which is all normal because dollar is moving lower. I was watching Aussie dollar for an entry, but it didn't pull down to, I was looking at 0.6. Here, let me just pull it over here. I was watching this price right there for bullish entries this morning. You can see it did not get there. It stopped right there, just shy of where I was looking for bullish entry. Right there. USD JPY down. It's not down on the day, though. It's still up 0.17%. Pound dollar moving higher, getting above a few days ago's high right there. Euro USD well above parity and cooking to the upside. So that trade is doing good. Wait, I can't pull it up because it's forex.com. It's over here. Just cooking, baby, cooking to the upside. Looks good. Keep going. Volatility is expanding, getting up to the upside on the hourly time frame. Are you going to watch the speech live? I'll probably watch it, but I don't think I'll record it. Or please watch live stream with your comments so we can make a good play. It's my internet. That's what's causing me not to be able to. I've dropped 13,997 frames. So that means when you watch the playback, it's going to get blurry or skippy. And if I stream a video live while the internet is in that bad of shape, it will cause the stream to crash. I've tried it before. It did not work. I just don't have good enough upload speeds for that. But you know what to watch. You know what price to watch, right? 21,925. This price right there. That's the price you will watch when the speech comes on. In an hour, the speech will show up. Oh, wait, no, the speech is coming on now. All right, well, let's try it. Speech is getting ready to come on. So let me see if I can get it to load up. I don't even see anything live right now. Let me see if it's in the Discord. I can't even get my internet to pull it up. Maybe if I close this down.
What is the Fed?
Well, I don't see him live on the Fed channel. Speech comes on now. Yeah, but it should have. Yeah, just that, like, totally killed the internet. Just trying to pull that up. Where is the speech? It's not live on their channel. That's what I'm saying. I just refreshed the channel and it's still not live. One of my mods will have to drop the link, because I can't. Let me pull it up over here on this laptop. Ugh. Yeah, I don't know what's up because on their chat they're not live. Washington Post on YouTube. All right, let's try that. If I can pull it up, like I said, my internet has just by trying to pull that up, it got smoked. Live Referral, there it is, right under me on my main YouTube page. All right. Let's see.
Over the hill, we'll write your will. Just made bail, you know who to hail. Taking the stand, we'll give you a hand. Wrongful arrest, we'll...
Give me a second. Gotta let the damn non-skippables play. Yeah, I got it now. I found it. It's just the internet sucks, so it's struggling. Very much so. Well, drug trade worked out good, so if you took that one, get out of it. It's done. That's all you would be looking for. That was simple as pie. Didn't even once get close to putting us in a negative position had we taken it. ETH all the way back down. See, Bitcoin did not get up there, so there wasn't a short to take, guys. But you are right now coming back into this price. So if you're looking for longs on Bitcoin, 21,395 would have been the place to look for that entry. Your USD even came off. My internet is not going to open that chat. Oh, hey.
The historical record cautions strongly against prematurely loosening policy. Committee participants' most recent individual projections from the June SEP showed the median federal funds rate running slightly below 4% through the end of 2023. Participants will update their projections at the September meeting. Our monetary policy deliberations and decisions build on what we've learned about inflation dynamics, both from the high and volatile inflation of the 1970s and 1980s, and from the low and stable inflation of the last quarter century. And in particular, we're drawing on three important lessons that I'll highlight. The first lesson is that central banks can and should take responsibility for delivering low and stable
Crushing
inflation.
the internet.
It may seem strange now that central bankers and others once needed convincing on these two fronts. But, as former Chairman Ben Bernanke has shown, both propositions were widely questioned during the Great Inflation period. Today, we regard these questions as settled. Our responsibility to deliver price stability is unconditional. It is true that the current high inflation is a global phenomenon, and that many economies around the world face inflation as high or higher than seen here in the United States. It's also true, in my view, that the current high inflation in the United States is the product of strong demand and constrained supply, and that the Fed's tools work principally on aggregate demand. None of this diminishes the Federal Reserve's responsibility to carry out our assigned task of achieving price stability. There is clearly a job to do in moderating demand to better align with supply. We are committed to doing that job. The second lesson is that the public's expectations about future inflation can play an important role in setting the path of inflation over time. Today, by many measures, longer-term inflation expectations appear to remain well anchored. That is broadly true of surveys of households, businesses and forecasters, and of market-based measures as well. But that is not grounds for complacency, with inflation having run well above our goal for some time. If the public expects that inflation will remain low and stable over time, then absent major shocks, it likely will.
The stream died.
Unfortunately, the same is true.
Is it dead? I don't know if it's dead or not. It looks like it died. It shows that it's dead on my end. I can't do the internet. Hate it. That's the entry on Bitcoin. The long entry was there. We said that to watch that price if you were looking for longs. He hasn't said anything that's bearish yet. Not to me.
Inflation feeds in part on itself. So part of the job of returning to a more stable and more productive economy must be to break the grip of inflationary expectations. One useful insight into how actual inflation may affect expectations about its future path is based in the concept of rational inattention. When inflation is persistently high, households and businesses must pay close attention and incorporate inflation into their economic decisions. When inflation is low and stable, they are freer to focus their attention elsewhere. Former Chairman Alan Greenspan put it this way: for all practical purposes, price stability means that expected changes in the average price level are small enough and gradual enough that they do not materially enter business.
He'll probably get another chance at 21,395.
Of course, inflation has just about everyone's
And if this thing right here holds this low, I don't know if it will, but
if high inflation continues, the greater the chance that expectations of higher inflation will become entrenched. And that brings me to the third lesson, which is that we must keep at it until the job is done. History shows that the employment costs of bringing down inflation are likely to increase with delay, as high inflation becomes more entrenched in wage and price setting.
do I like it?
Disinflation of the early 1980s followed.
Right now, he's just talking about like things they did that didn't work, what they can do in the future. They haven't said anything bearish yet. The fact that the Bitcoin trade has been faded, it hasn't been completely faded. This was the area that we were discussing watching based on hourly demand, right? Same for Ethereum. Hourly demand was here. Remember how I said that? That's where you'd be looking for your entries if you did or wanted to become bullish. That's the price at which you would wait to look to buy it. You did get that test when the speech started, right? Now you're right back up. He hasn't said anything bearish.
Multiple failed attempts to lower inflation over the previous 15 years. A lengthy period of very
Bitcoin's getting ready to go back up.
ultimately needed to stem high inflation.
This is shit. This is the price you want to watch.
That were the norm
Right there for shorts. Your longs is too late.
to avoid that outcome by acting.
If it gets all the way back down there now, no, I would not like it.
These lessons are
No.
guides as we use
No.
tools to bring inflation down. We are taking forceful and rapid steps to
Oh,
moderate demand so that it comes into better alignment with supply and to keep inflation expectations anchored. We will keep at it until we're confident the job is done. Thank you.
He didn't say shit. I'll have to rewatch it later because I was too busy trying to just get the freaking internet to work without killing the stream, which pretty much did. But he's done. If he's done, he didn't say anything bearish. All right. Let me play it over here. See what it says. I'll kill this so you can't hear it. Yeah, he didn't say anything bearish. I'll go back and rewatch it later on. Price is still going to be the same. If you guys are looking for shorts, 21,925. That will liquidate this. That will liquidate the most highest swing high in all of this sideways price action. If you're going to get a bearish trade that will work, it needs to get up there. If it does get up there and continues, you're not looking to short it. I would only look to short it if it got to $22,000 and rolled over. If you start closing 5-minute candles above 21,925, it's likely going to have bullish continuation for the next day or two, based on what it got from the news. You did get one opportunity to take a long at hourly demand. I did not take it. I was busy doing other things. If you close an hourly under 21,395, then you're going to leave it alone because, that won't look good, right? This should be the only test you get of this price if you're going to see bullish continuation. If this is the last test you get of this price, then I don't think I would short that up there either. So right now, current liquidity setting is at the day's low and then at the other day's high. You've already liquidated the lows. So if the market wants to liquidate the highs and then roll over, this will be the price to watch for that. All right. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up there. We lost almost everybody, so I don't know if that means the stream has died or what, but anyways, that's good enough. You guys have a fantastic day.